if you have, if something happens so that you can't get to the pharmacy tomorrow, is this going to work out still? And that goes for both people and for pets. That's what I think we've all got down our list.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Is there anything from that group that wants to add a few things, or does that summarize it pretty well? Pretty good. Okay. Thanks. Thank you so much, Alice, for that presentation. And now to the other breakout room number 2, which is soil and water. I think Suzanne Briggs was going to give us a summary.
Yeah, so we were talking about what the top 3 or most comments were on. And I think one of the questions was how to protect plants in hot and cold weather, and the topic of being able to adjust your planting according to the impact that the climate change is having. For instance, more rain, more hot heat, extreme, weather. So mulching was a big topic on that, watering deeply and infrequently, covering all bare soils, and focusing on native plants. So being aware of the native plants that thrive in this environment. And those may change depending on how drastic the climate changes. We were also talking about mulching and mulching around trees. And trees it really depends on the species. And but there are some really noted trees that will not make it through this climate change. Ash trees specifically was mentioned. The madrones love dryness, so that's one to keep in mind. Mulching around a tree, you can do that out to the drip line, but do not dig under the drip line or within the drip line. That's being mindful of any projects that you do, maintaining that drip line, and the roots underneath that drip line is important. So there was some community, one more mulching conversation. I had stated that in a school garden, I did cardboard, then coffee bags, then wood chips. And that was a good way of being able to mulch, but as well as control weeds. And that is a good way of doing it. And eventually it breaks down over 2 years, but you've got 2 years less work. The other thing is when you water, even drip irrigation, you want to water deeply and infrequently. And so that's a real key in all of these conversations. And then lastly, we talked about some community projects that are going on, the Rose City Bluff in particular, and also the Rose City Elementary School is looking at depaving. And all of these type of projects will also mitigate the impact of the climate change, keeping any green space that we can, which we all value, the golf course and the playgrounds and the parks in our community. And we, I think that was it. Is there anything that I missed?
I think you got everything.
Okay.
All right. Well, again, this is Tamara. My thoughts about the next step is that we have a resource document I just put into the chat box for everyone to use. It's on our website under climate change. And also I will get all the presentation documents put under climate change on our website as well. So look for the document information or Rose City Park documents, and that's under our website, which is RCPNA.org. So, and that stands for Rose City Park Neighborhood Association. Also, I think it would be great to have the Rose City Park Bluff, as well as maybe the Rose City Park Elementary School DPAVE project, offer themselves to just join our blog and make a project out of those, so other people in the community can get there and find out what's going on and get involved. And again, that's our Slack, Rose City Park Slack, and the resource document that's in the chat box has that access information, as well as Stephanie Singer's email. And she is going to be our coordinator for the Slack, but she won't be able to get to her emails for another week or two. She is going to be out of commission here for about a week. So I did give you a link in that chat, or that's in the resource document, where you can get on Slack yourself. And I also am a host on Slack, so I will try to get you into whatever group you want. But that would give you a chance to talk more about whatever topics are related to climate change and what kind of projects you might want to get involved with. And it may even be a good place for, if you have a block party discussion about getting together and maybe getting someone from the net team over to speak to your block party, put it on there. Say, I'm Northeast 52nd and Broadway block party. And that's one of the projects, and go from there. And you can invite anyone to join you on those blog sites. So it's a resource for you all. So at this point, I'd like to then turn this over to the committee reports. But before we get there, I want everyone to recognize our speakers tonight. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much, Alice Bush. Thank you so much, Whitney Bailey. You were rock stars for us, and I will put your presentations under climate change on our website as well, so everyone has access to that. At the next, and also we're going to have a board meeting next Tuesday, and we'll talk about what we've done tonight. And my goal here is hopefully turn it back to you as neighbors. How can we work with you as a neighborhood association to help convene the people you want to hear, get you into groups that you want to talk to, and do the projects that will help the most for our community as we go forward with climate change? So we turn to you for helping direct us. I really appreciate you being here tonight and giving us your thoughts on all of these topics so we can move forward. Now at this point, I'd like to go over to the committee reports and see if we can get Jennifer to give her information about communications and events committee. Jennifer, are you with us?
Sure. Thank you, Tamara. So communications committee, you should have, if you live in the neighborhood, should have received your newsletter in advance of this meeting. So this was our latest effort. We are also working through our redesign for our website. So you will see some updates to make it a little bit more streamlined and easier to find information, such as login to this meeting and future board general meetings, land use and transportation committee meetings, etc. So there should be some nice updates coming soon. And then for the for the events committee, we are working through the kind of the administrative portion for our picnic in the park concerts. So we are hopeful that we can have some summer concerts this year as well. We had tremendous success last year, so we'd like to build on that. And we are also working through the planning stages of a neighborhood garage sale. So working on that, but we're modeling that after some successful efforts in other neighborhoods, and look forward to seeing some more published probably in March. So that's it.
Thank you so much. Just a few more thoughts about the garage sale. This is going to be our very first neighborhood-wide garage sale. And with that, we're hoping to get as many people involved as possible. We will be publishing a virtual map as well as a physical map. And we will probably be asking something like $25 to get your information on that digital map. And so people can click on that house and say, what are the top items that you have at your house? And so they can say, oh, I want to go there. So we're going to model this after the Eastmoreland Neighborhood Association, which has been doing this for years. And the idea is that we'll end up making a little bit of money because we don't have our cleanup anymore as a fundraiser. And we need to raise some funds for the concerts in the park. Okay. Let me turn this over to our next person, which is Don Levine. And I don't know if Don's here tonight. I haven't seen him. Okay. No community safety speaking. I will be giving the update from the Land Use Committee because I'm the co-chair on that committee as well. Kelly Davis gave me the bullet points. He's my co-chair. After taking input, and this is on our Land Use and Transportation Committee, after taking input from neighbors, the Land Use and Transportation Committee in our January meeting voted to encourage PBOT to install crosswalks at a crosswalk at Northeast 62nd and Sacramento. And this is all concerning slow streets. And that will be at the stairway to Rose City Park across Sacramento. And to install traffic calming concrete bollard planters as designed by the city engineers at 62nd. Also, PBOT asked PBOT to combine the two projects, which is slow streets and safe routes to schools at the Northeast 64th and Brazee intersection, and to come up with a more aesthetically pleasing solution that preserves a view corridor to Mount Hood. And that is a city identified view corridor at 64th and Sacramento. Rose City Park will form a subcommittee to come up with suggested design that is acceptable to the neighborhood for that location. Also, the Umpqua Bank Apartments is caused development on 47th. Umpqua Bank has decided to stay at their temporary location. Instead, Rivermark Credit Union will move into the first floor of the rental space in February or March. The Land Use Transportation Committee and whatever board members are interested will tour the project in January and continues to work. We will continue to work with the developer on parking and traffic for that facility. Completing sidewalk infrastructure is a topic that Raymond Saul brought up at our last meeting. He is going to work with me in asking the city engineer to come to our next meeting, which is the 17th of February, to discuss sidewalk options, because there's a critical one, which is at Haslow between 60th and Normandale Park, where there's no sidewalk, and people from down on Gleason use our Rose City, the Normandale Park on a regular basis, and there's not a sidewalk to get from 60th over to Normandale Park. It's also a very busy industrial route to get to 60th from the industrial park in the back. And next we have the Cully tax increment financing topic. And that will, we've invited Roger Gonzalez from Prosper Portland to our next meeting on the 17th to discuss the Cully tax increment financing program. Rose City Park does have some areas within that TIF boundary, primarily along Fremont. So watch at our website for that upcoming meeting, and more information about tax increment financing if you don't know what that means, because it's a bit complicated, and you could talk to me directly about that issue. Next, we have Richard. You're going to give us an update on our treasury. Richard, are you with us?
Well, I am, but I didn't know I was going to be doing this, so.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you can just show the budget from the last meeting of the board. You have those available.
I can, huh? Let me see if I can, give me a few minutes here to see if I can find out where I've got those.
Okay,
You go on to somebody else and I'll come back with one.
I will. I think, but I don't see Jeff Gifford here at our meeting. And he is our representative for the playground project at Rose City Park. I do know that they are seeking more money to finish up the match that they have with the city for, and this is for replacing the playground equipment at Rose City Park. They're looking for $50,000 and they're well on their way to getting that. But we need that $50,000 before they can begin. And installation is scheduled to go in this fall. So the fall of 22. So that's pretty exciting. And if you've read through the article here in our latest newsletter, you can see it. It's all fuzzy. It does talk about the fact that our discussion with Carmen Rubio, which is our commissioner in charge of Parks and Recreation, was very influential in getting the city to go ahead and help pay for improvements at this park. So it was big kudos to her for helping us move that ahead. I do know with budget that we are staying steady. We're not spending any money. We're trying very hard not to do anything, and we're coming up with protocols for how we want to spend the money. And so the question is, what do we do with that? You know, how much money should we give? And we've constantly given some money to the debate club or the Constitution team at Grant. And then at Madison, which is now McDaniel's, always given them money for their end of the year party for the seniors. So the question is, are we doing this correctly and fairly? And what other items out there that could use some funding should we spend our money on instead, or raise more money to do so? So Stephanie and I are working on those protocols with Richard, and we'll be coming up with those in the next couple months. Also, we've had a couple people had to step away from the board. So if there's anyone who is interested in joining the board and helping participate in moving these projects ahead and just helping us, please just contact me. I can tell you all about it, tell you how much time it takes. And the biggest thing is I try to encourage people to do what they love and follow their dreams for the community. And I joined the board back in 2008. And that was, you know, a matter of watching Providence take down the old Green Stamp building at, what is it, 42nd, and then make the Providence Park there on Halsey. Anyway, they didn't put in a bikeway, they didn't put in all sorts of things that they should have done along the freeway. But we did our best to try to encourage that, but that got me involved. And then I ended up being the point person in creating the community garden down at Fraser. And that was a 3-year commitment of love just to have people have a place to plant. And I started that in 2008 when we had our first recession and people were out of work. And I just figured everybody needs a place to plant. And so those were my Scotch Irish roots coming out saying, gotta have land. So now there's at least 50 families that have plots down there at Fraser Park. So that was my project that, I just said, this needs to happen. I came forward, got a group of folks interested, held meetings with the neighbors, and it took a while, but we got through it. And then we raised money, had DPave come in and help us open up the ground. So it can be done. And this is a great place to bring your ideas and make things happen. So welcome, and I'm glad you're here. Richard, do you have any information for us?
Well, in order to get to it, I need to do minimize the Zoom, and I can't do that since I'm the host.
Okay.
So I'm stuck. I'll have the latest update for the next board meeting.
Okay, if you're interested in our funding, please join us at our next board meeting, which will take place on the first Tuesday of the month in
Which is the
February. Say that again.
It is the first.
It is the first, February 1st. So you're welcome to join us. Those are open to the public, and we enjoy having company. So please join us. Okay, we're ahead of schedule. It is 8:39. I'd like to ask you if you have any questions or concerns for us as a board before we leave tonight. Any comments about tonight's session? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Would you like more of it? Are we going in the right direction? Are there any comments from folks?
I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. It was very interesting, and I really appreciate everything you guys have done.
Yeah, me too. I thought it was great.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, I echo that. I'm new to Portland and just learning my way around, and as I had mentioned earlier to Tamara, I'm interested in if there are any hands-on volunteer opportunities like planting. I love plants, always have, or handing out the leaflets, just some real small way of getting acquainted.
Yeah, we definitely can use more hands in delivering newsletters. So when that comes around, we all hands on deck. Right now, we
Right.
have a volunteer community of about 70 people, including all the folks that deliver newsletters. So yes, help us out. I'll put you in touch with our person in charge of that, which is Helene Farnham, and there's a whole vast crew of delivery folks that you'll get to know.
And Karen, as far as liking to plant, Susan Briggs is the person that can help you out with that, with the Rose City
Yeah.
bluff by the golf course.
Okay, and how would I reach what was that name again?
Suzanne Briggs. And if you go to Rose City Bluff at Gmail, is that right? Rose City Bluff at gmail.com. Or we are always at the stairway at 9:30 on Sunday morning. So come down, anybody come down, and we can show you the progress that we've made there and what the current projects that we're working on. It's a great group of people.
Well, that would be great, but I don't know where the stairway is or how.
So it's 62nd and Sacramento.
It's at the north end of the Rose City Park, and also the north end of the golf course, which is Rose City Park.
Yeah, it's the west end of the trail.
Yes. Well, thank you everyone for a great evening, and stay safe. Help your neighbor if you're able to, and I hope to see you at our next meeting or outing. If not, just try getting on the Rose City Park Slack and seeing what you like to join and discuss topics. We'd love to see you there as well. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Bye-bye.
Tamara.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Tamara.
Right.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much. Bye-bye.
Bye.